Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's day number 8. Can't imagine that now we've done 7 whole days. And I think sometimes when we look to do things in our lives, consistency is the key thing, one day at a time. And I sometimes have the problem of wanting to do things in chunks, where I would want to read the whole book of Proverbs in one day or in 2 days. But as I've got older, I've learned that sometimes it's better to slow things down and just begin to break things into bite-sized, manageable chunks. And so consistency is really key. And another thing we always, and I would encourage all of us to do, is showing up. What consistency helps us to do is that part of consistency is showing up every day. Whether you feel like it or you don't, you just do it. Because as they say, the best ability is availability. So if not available, you are never in a position to be able to take advantage of opportunity, or even if it's time spent with the Lord, to glean something from the Lord. And what I like about chapter number 7 is that it basically is telling us that everyone can get wisdom, and it's not just for a select few. The key issue, I guess, is, do I want to get wisdom or not? Would I rather be wise, or would I rather sort of like err on the side of not following wisdom, which will lead me down a trajectory of life that I really don't want to be heading down? And I think that another key thing to understand is that wisdom makes it possible for us to enjoy life. You know, in John 10:10, it says, "For the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I have come," which means Christ, "I have come that you may have life, and life more abundantly." So the thief here, being the enemy, has come so that our life is a miserable heck, and he loves it when we wallow in misery, when we wallow in simplicity, and we don't follow the ways of wisdom, because then he's winning. Because when we don't follow the ways of wisdom, we're not putting ourselves in a position to live our best lives. And so thus far, I guess over the last probably 7 odd days, you know, Solomon has spoken about the virtues of wisdom and the need for us to acquire it and live by it. He has also told us about the dangers of rejecting wisdom. You know, chapter 7 ended with a description of a promiscuous woman seducing a foolish young man, somebody who's just naive. We've all been young, and I think that we've all made mistakes, but it's the key thing then is that, like I said, I think probably day number 6, experience is not the best teacher. It is evaluated experience that is the best teacher. And what I like about chapter number 8 is that he lets wisdom speak. And again, he's personified wisdom as a woman, and she speaks about her existence before creation and the gift of life that she is to all, I guess, who find her. If we pick it up in verse number 17 of chapter 18, it says, what is it? Here we go. It says, "I love all who love me. Those who search will surely find me. I have riches and honor." This is wisdom saying that, "as well as enduring wealth and justice. My gifts are better than gold, even the purest gold. My wage is better than sterling silver. I walk in righteousness, in paths of justice. Those who love me inherit wealth. I will fill their treasuries." And so the heart of the wise people is aligned with wisdom in the same way that the heart of the believer is aligned with Christ. So just as God grants wisdom to those who seek or ask, so also wisdom reveals herself to those who search for her. And then wisdom begins to tell us of its value and the reward for her character, which basically says, "My gifts are better than gold, even the purest gold." And then in verses 22 to 31, it talks about wisdom saying, "I was there at the beginning when the Lord formed the earth." It goes on to explain, "Before the mountains were formed, before the hills I was born, before he made the earth and the fields and the first handfuls of soil. I was there when he established the heavens, when he drew the horizon on the oceans. I was there when he set the clouds above, when he established springs in the earth. And basically what it's telling us is that wisdom is reliable. I was there from the beginning. I knew what was up. I knew how this whole joint of earth, when God put it all together. And wisdom is essentially, it comes from the character of who God is. And wisdom is teaching us that wisdom is reliable in our lives. Wisdom will definitely come and aid us and assist us in our lives if we embrace it. The last verses say, verse 32, after wisdom has told you that I've been there right from the beginning, so therefore I am reliable. You can count on me to do things in your life. And he said, and so my children, listen to me. Now basically saying, look, you can bank on this because I was there. You can bank on this. This is why sometimes in the sports world, they prefer people who have played the sport to be the ones that are analysts. Because the first thing they'll say to perhaps a journalist in any kind of sport, let's just pick basketball. And somebody, let's say I'm a journalist, I haven't played professional sports. And then you compare that to somebody who was a professional basketball player and they're now analyzing the game. That people would rather hear, they would rather hear from somebody who's played the game, because now we say, well, what you're saying, there's a bit of credibility because you've actually played the game. Now, in no way am I saying that journalists who have not played the game are not in a position to offer a valuable opinion. I'm not suggesting that. What I'm trying to do is just to contrast what people prefer, because I think you have some, you've got a bit of, what's the word? Credibility, because you played the sport. Wisdom is saying, look, I was there right from the jump. So guess what? I have got credibility. And because I have credibility, now my children, listen to me, for all who follow my ways are joyful. Listen to my instruction and be wise. Don't ignore it. Joyful are those who listen to me, watching for me daily at my gates, waiting for me outside my home. For whoever finds me finds life and receives favor from the Lord. But those who miss me injure themselves. All who hate me love death. And that is the contrast, that it's really about the battle between life and death. And just as Christ said in John 10:10, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And he would rather that you remain in not knowing how to do, not choosing the better option, but always choosing the option that is temporal, that doesn't lead to anything that is permanent or lasting. But then he said that I have come that you may have life and life more abundantly. And I believe that as we begin to choose wisdom in our lives, we will start to experience that life, that more abundant life. And this is why I said earlier that wisdom makes it possible to enjoy life. And I guess for somebody who says, look, I've made a whole bunch of mistakes, it doesn't really matter, what mistakes you've made. The key thing is that you can always draw a line in the sand and begin to determine that I want from here on out, I want the outcome of my life to change. Therefore, I'm going to look to start to make better decisions. The best thing you can do to help with that is get alongside some people. Get alongside some people who are heading down the wrong direction. And I love this example. I used to live in the northwest of Western Australia, which is about 1,600 kilometers from Perth, in a place called Port Hedland. And one day we were driving from Port Hedland to Perth. It's a very long journey. And there used to be a turnoff to another town called Karratha. But when they changed the way the road network was, instead of going straight to go to Karratha, you had to turn to the right. And so this gentleman did not see the road sign. And so he drove and he came and overtook me, and we drove for at least 200 kilometers. And later on, when I saw him up front, he was slowing down his car and he turned around as if to go back. And so he flagged me down and he asked me, where is the turn off to Karratha? And And I explained to him that the turn up to Karratha was 200 kilometers back that way. And the point is this: you can have the best intentions, but if you're going down the wrong road, you are going down the wrong way. So I can still have the best intentions, but if I'm going down the wrong way, it is the wrong way. And what I'm encouraging all of us is, let's gather around people that are going the right way. People, of course, as Christians, people that love the Lord. And those are not the only people you can learn from, mind you. But I think people that are going to encourage you, build you up in the way of the Lord. And you'll find that as you begin to align yourself with people that are wise, you too will become wise. And it's often said by many people, T.D. Jakes and all, they said that if you're the smartest person in the room, it's time for you to get another group, because you always want to be in the state of learning. You always want to have a beginner's mindset. And so I hope we choose wisdom, and we understand that wisdom will bring enjoyment to our life. And so God bless you. And of course, I forgot to sort of say, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are in the world. And so I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and love to catch you again tomorrow for day number 9. Peace.